Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome to a Sunday afternoon live stream. We're taking a look at 911 Operator. I picked this game up a few days ago. I was looking for something small, something fun to kind of just pass the time for the last week or so since I finished Subnautica, and I'm getting ready to start our long playthrough on Genesis Alpha 1 when that goes live on Tuesday. Obviously, I've had that game and done some pre-release footage for a while, but I'm waiting for that day one patch so I can get the full update before I actually start the campaign playthrough on the channel. So, as I say, looking around for something small to play and stumbled across 911 Operator. And this game's not a new game; it's been out for a while now. I think this game first came out 2017. I'm not sure how long it's been out on PS4, maybe a year or so. But it's a fun little game, about 15 quid on the UK store, so probably around $20 on the US store, probably around €20 on the European store. And like I say, I've had quite a bit of fun with this, so I thought let's live stream this for a couple of hours or so on Sunday, which is today, just so that it's a chance for you guys to have a look at this and see what you think of this. So let's jump in and take a look at 911 Operator. And we've got Michael, Automan, Neymar 11, Pecky, Silver Defender, Harry T, all in the chat. Good to see you guys. And Brandon's popped in as well. How are you guys doing? And Alpha Rod, welcome to the chat. So, 911 Operator, very, very simple premise to the game. You have a career mode where you have some unique stories where you can play through, and a sort of a daily routine mode, which is a little bit different. But you have a series of cities that you need to kind of play through, and there is trophies for completing the campaign. What you can also do is you can go into free game and you can just pick a city, and that gives you a list of cities that are already kind of in there, and you can also search and use any city in the world. It's amazing. You just type it in and it finds it, and you can use that city. So this is Nottingham, this is my home city, this is where I live. This is London. You just type it in, boom, and it pulls it up. It's brilliant. Absolutely amazing little feature. You also get a random city of the day. So today that city of the day is Oslo in Norway. You also can just go random city and it'll just pull a random city. You can just play on that one. So the replay ability on this is huge because you can play anywhere, and it's a real life city. It's a realistic map of the city. So this is a proper exact map of Nottingham. So I thought let's have a little bit of a play on the Nottingham map. You also get some first aid hints and tips popped in here because as a 911 operator we do have to do a little bit of kind of first response management with some of the calls as well, so it gives you a load of tips on how to deal with certain situations. It's quite a fun little thing. So the first thing we get is we have our squads. Now this is a breakdown of what we have to start with, and you can see for Nottingham we start off in terms of our police units with a police bike, 2 police cars, a police van, a second police van. Then we go into the medical responses, so we have 3 ambulances and a helicopter. And then in terms of fire trucks, we have 3 fire trucks, and then we have kind of a technical truck as well. We also have staff that we can allocate to each of these vehicles. Some are pre-allocated, others are kind of sat here in our available staff that we can then allocate to certain vehicles. And on top of that, we can also recruit new staff, we can buy new vehicles, and we can also purchase and equip items to our staff members to improve their performance and improve how well they can handle things. So let's take a quick look. Let's toggle through the units. We'll start with the police. You can see here, if we go back to our squads, these are the police units that we have. We have a couple of spaces in each of the vans, and we have 3 unused, unassigned police officers. So let's just stick those in straight away. We're going to stick one of these guys in this unit, and another one in there as well. Now you can see that the ones that we had to start with, they already have sidearms attached to them, but nothing else. Each member of staff can have 2 pieces of equipment. And then the ones that we're assigning right now, they don't have any equipment at all. So we can use what little money we have to start with to purchase some equipment for these guys if we want to. We could just save it and then try and build up towards buying more units if we want to. I'm just going to allocate the firefighting staff. So I've got, let's see, what have I got? If I take a look in here, none of these staff have have equipment assigned. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all of these firefighters out, because I'm going to manage these a little bit more carefully. Make sure that they're going in the right positions. So each member of staff has 2 skill ratings. They have a driving skill and a tech skill. Tech skill is used for things like cutting people out of cars, dealing with obstacles on the roads, things like that. Any job that requires technical skill is obviously going to be used on their tech skill rating. And then you also have their firefighting skill, which doesn't have its own specific skill. And you also have a driving skill as well. So you want to make sure that every unit has at least one member of staff who's kind of very high driving skill. It'll improve how quickly they can respond and get to a particular thing. So let's start off by allocating a good driver to each of our units. So we're going to put Carter in that unit there. Brooklyn here has a very high driving level, so we'll put Brooklyn in that unit. Another high driving skill, so we'll drop into that one there. And another high skill just here as well. There we go. And now I want to start allocating skills a bit more evenly. So the bottom truck is it's not a main fire truck. If we move across the vehicles here, you can see we've got 3 of these standard fire trucks, and then we have a tech truck, a technical truck. So it's what I like to do is I like to make sure that the technical truck is the one that goes off and deals with the non-urgent calls. So maybe a cat stuck up a tree or a car blocking a road, something like that, and save the actual proper fire trucks for the fires. It kind of makes sense. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that the tech truck has a very good technical skill where possible. So I'm just going to put a 3rd member in that one there, and then the rest we're going to kind of evenly distribute amongst the other units like that. So we'll have one of these fire trucks with only 2 people in, but we can get away with that. That's okay. Let's take a look at our medical staff. We have some leftover medical staff as well. And again, they don't have any equipment, so I'm going to strip every member of staff out of each of these teams. And then we'll do the same again. We'll make sure that they have at least one good driver in every unit to get them there quickly, and then balance out their first aid skill as best we can. So I've got a very good driver here. Let's see, very good driver there, and also very good at first aid as well. You know what, I think I'm going to put that one in the helicopter. A good driver goes there. Need someone else with a high driving skill if possible for the 3rd unit. That's going to be our best, I think. There we go. And now we'll kind of balance these out amongst the remaining units. And there we go. That is our first aiders assigned. We've already done the police. So we're not going to go out and spend any money this time out. We'll just go off and do our first duty. And then we'll look at the end of that first day at starting to pick up some equipment and improving the options for each of our staff groups. Let's just take a quick look in the chat. David's popped in the chat as well, and Adam. This game is on Xbox One, says Adam. I don't know. I think it is. I know it's been on PC for a while. It was out on PC initially in early release, I think. There was I think might have been a Kickstarter deal where there was a bonus pack of additional content. All of that is included on this version here. So in terms of vehicles, there are additional vehicles down here that were added in. So things like the police bike, the unmarked police car, the sports patrol car, the riot van, and the large police helicopter, and horses as well. So it's the same with each of the services. They've all had extra stuff added in. So you can see here there's been extra rescue vehicles added in and extra fire trucks and stuff added in as well. So it's all included as standard on the console version. But anyway, we're ready to jump in and start deployment. So this is a map of Nottingham. Just to kind of break it down for you a little bit, this is the River Trent here. This area here, see if I can get my bearings on exactly where we are. This over here, this is Nottingham University, or Trent Bridge University, and I live somewhere along here. I live somewhere around here. This is where the university is, in this big block here, and I live in this estate over here. This is sort of one of the areas down here. This is the Clifton Estate. Moving over here into the city, looking for where the station is. I think the station is somewhere around here. I think. I'm not 100% certain. Looking at it like this is quite tricky until I start to see some road names popping up. And it pulls genuine locations as well. So we will actually see genuine street names start popping up, and we can initially start to choose where our units start from. So you can see that they're all allocated at designated spots. Now these aren't necessarily 100% accurate, but you can see we've got 2 medical drop-off points just here. We've got a police police station here. The red ones obviously are fire stations, and these are located throughout the city so that if the police go out and deal with an incident, they can then, if they need to take anyone back into custody, they can take them to the nearest one of those places and drop them off. Same with the medical staff. If they pick up someone who needs to go to a hospital, they can pick them up and take them to the nearest one of those areas and drop them off that way. And a fire truck can obviously just go back to the firehouses if they need to. And we can choose to spread our units out at the very start, which is what I'm doing here. Just looking to space out our units a bit, so we can see exactly where everything's going to be sort of located. Leave the helicopter there. Let's bring one of these units in so it's a bit more central. Let's bring our fire service in a little bit more. I've got some duplicate fire services over here as well. Let's bring one over there. And we'll bring this one into the centre. Actually, no, let's stick this one up here. This is our tech truck, so to speak. So we'll leave that kind of slap bang in the centre there. And this way we've got reasonably good starting coverage. So if we get a call or an incident that pops up in one of these areas, we haven't got too far for any of our units to go, which will help us out. Now, there are 2 types of incidents that we can get. We can get a random incident that will just pop in and we can just go off and deal with it. And the other ones we'll get will be actual 911 calls, some of which are actually based on genuine calls. And we get the chance to sort of choose our responses and how we deal with those. So a bit of common sense is required with some of these. Sometimes you really got to think on some of your choices as well. We do have a reputation level that is based on how we deal with those calls that come in. And if we end up with a negative response, then we run the risk of getting fired, and that's game over. By the end of the shift, by the end of the day. The better we do, the more money we earn, and which we can then invest in our services for the start of the next day in terms of adding in additional units or upgrading the equipment that our current units have. So, let's start our duty and wait for our first incident or call to come in. And you'll see our police units will just go on a little bit of a patrol. Here's our first incident already. Intoxication by unknown substances, heavy diarrhea and vomiting occurs, needs medical attention. It's not an urgent one, so we'll just send the nearest ambulance to that. We'll leave the chopper for an emergency. And here's our first call.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, I need some help.
What's the problem, little guy? With my mask.
With your mouth?
No, with my mask. I have to do it. Will you help me?
Well, where do you live, little guy?
No, with my mask.
Yeah, I know. You want help with your math, but where do you live?
No, I want you to talk to me on the phone.
Is your mom or dad nearby?
Yeah, but she's busy.
Can you ask your mom to come on the phone?
Mom! Come on the phone! Mom! Oh, sorry. What are you doing? The policeman is helping me with math. What did I tell you about playing on the phone? But I need help, so you call somebody. Yeah, but I didn't need the police. Hello? I'm sorry.
No problem, ma'am. Is everything all right there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll tell him to stay on the phone.
It's all right, ma'am. Just make sure he's not afraid to make a 911 call in the future, okay?
Of course. Thanks. Bye.
So there we go. We got our first call, and it was a prank call. We're just going to ignore that one there. Got a new incident here. Car reported speeding. We do have a bike, and that is automatically locked onto that because it got close enough. It just immediately addressed that one there. So you can see this is the unit I was going to assign. I'm just going to slow time down for a second. Our bike was actually close enough. The bike is the fastest unit that we have, so I usually save the bike for speeding calls like this one. But because it got into a close enough proximity, it automatically went straight to that. So you can see here the situation report. We've got on the left-hand side our two officers on the bike, and on the right-hand side the person that they're pulled over. So that person's going to get a fine. If if that person turns out to have a weapon, then shots will get fired. We might need to send backup. We'll almost certainly need to send medical assistance to go and deal with the situation as well. So sometimes it's not just a case of sending one unit and ignoring it. Sometimes it can escalate quite quickly and turn into quite a messy situation. But on this one, I think we'll be okay. We've had another incident come through as well. A man putting a needle in his arm. So need for medical assistance, one person injured and one person to interview as well. So let's see, that call's over there. Let's find a squad car. We'll send him up there, and we'll also send over a medical unit as well. So let's speed time back up again. There we go. And our police units themselves will actually kind of just patrol the area, and if they spot something, they'll go to it, whereas other units will just sit there and wait for us to direct them. So we've got a new incident here. Car left blocking the road. So rather than send a firefighting unit, we'll send our tech truck to deal with that one. And a second call.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? There are some guys here fighting. Can you do something about it?
How many of them are there?
There are two of them.
Did you see if they had any weapons?
One of them picked up some kind of club.
Can you give me a precise address of the incident?
Yes, of course. It's at...
Is anybody injured?
I don't think so. They've just started and they're mostly shouting and pushing each other.
I'm sending emergency services right now.
Thank you. Bye.
So we've got an address, which is all the way up here. It's going to stop time again for a second. Sometimes we won't get an address, or sometimes we'll press the wrong option and we won't get the address, in which case we'll have to leave the call running once the other person's hung up and just trace the call, and eventually we'll get a location. Of course, the downside to that is it takes a while for that to go through, and we can get a lot of incidents come in while we're waiting for that address to come up. And if we abandon it, then we've ignored a call, essentially, and we take a big hit on our reputation. So you really got to make sure that you really do pay attention. So any call that we take, you'll see we'll have a green icon like this with a pair of headphones. That's a call that we've we've answered, and we need to send a response off. So we're going to send a unit of police up there. We're also going to send a medical unit just in case someone is injured. Hopefully we'll be okay on that. We've got another incident popped up here as well. A car reported as speeding. Let's send the bike over to that one as well. Now, how are we getting on over here? So you can see one person injured and another person having a statement taken. Everything's nice and good over there. And there we go. They're done. So they get dropped off to the nearest medical facility there, and the police car will just patrol in this area until it's reallocated. Warren reported that someone is watching her house. She has been receiving a lot of messages from an unknown person lately. One suspect possibly armed. Okay.
What's your emergency?
Hi, there's an unconscious man here.
Where are you calling from?
Around...
Did you see him pass out?
No, he was on the ground when I found him.
Does he have any visible injuries?
There's blood on his face, and he has a black eye.
So you get some fun options. You can just tell him to just leave him, send an ambulance, send the police.
Is he breathing?
You can also,
I
obviously,
think he's breathing.
try and get a bit more information there. So you can say, oh, just leave him. But no, we'll send an ambulance.
An ambulance to check up on him. Can you wait there, please?
Sure, bye.
Where is this call? That call's just there. We need a medical unit. That's the closest one. We also need a medical unit down here for that one there. It's a long way to go. You can see that unit there is under fire, needs backup. So we're going to allocate this squad car to go and help out over there. And another call coming through.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? My stomach hurts really bad.
So how long have you had this stomach pain?
About an hour ago, it started suddenly.
Alright, does anything else hurt?
I vomited half an hour ago.
So, do you have any other symptoms?
I looked in the mirror and my skin's very pale. I have the chills, and I can't stop sweating.
What's your address, sir? Your symptoms could be signs of something really serious. I'm going to get medical help to you as soon as possible.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll wait for them to get here. Bye.
Okay, so that's where the call is. We don't have any spare units at the moment, so I'm going to send the helicopter for this one. Got a lot of different incidents all popping in at the same time there. We need some police over there. We've got another unit that needs backup as well. They need to get to that one. Let's get the bike to go and help out over here. So many units all under fire. And I'm going to pause the game for a second again here. Let's take the call.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? Been a car crash.
Where did the collision happen?
Around
When did it happen?
5 minutes ago.
Are there any injuries?
No, no one's hurt.
Are any of the vehicles blocking traffic?
Yeah, both of them completely destroyed.
You know who caused the accident?
The other driver, he's obviously drunk.
All right, sir. Please wait for the emergency services to arrive.
Okay, thank you.
So this one's going to need... it's going to need a fire truck to go and clear the way because there's stuff blocking the road. We're probably going to need to send police to that as well to take statements. But the reason I paused it was I wanted to point out, you'll notice, I mean, these two have both emptied now and dropped off, but each of these vehicles has a number of slots, and that's based on the size of the vehicle. So police cars have 2 spaces, so they can take 2 suspects. The vans obviously have a larger capacity, they can take 4 suspects, and you'll see those squares will get filled in as somebody is picked up. So let's have a look around, see if any of our other units have actually got anybody in the back of them at the moment. Nope, they're all empty. But if we had somebody on their way to a hospital, then you would see those squares would be filled in. Jay, please stop spamming the chat with nonsensical messages. Otherwise, I will put you in timeout. And if you keep doing it, I will block you from the chat. Because you are starting to really annoy everybody else in there. Right, let's see if we've caught up with all of these reports that we've got. So we've got a stalker just there. We need to send police to that. Let's assign a police car over there. Next one, sharp tool injury, massive blood loss. Okay, that's potentially quite a bad one. Let's get the helicopter there nice and quick. Spilled chemical substance. Need to send a technical team at the very least. We'll actually pull a fire unit down for that one. And a car accident occurred. Cause needs to be determined. That's down there. Let's send the bike down to that one instead. And hopefully these guys will be okay. We've got a lot of calls over here that need to be dealt with as well. So we need to get an ambulance over there. Where's this ambulance going? And that ambulance is on the way to that call there. This one's going to that call just there. These guys have put a call out for backup, which means they're taking fire, which means they're going to need medical assistance as well. So let's try and get a unit down there as quick as we can. And we've got this call up here. Okay, that's the one that's going to need someone to block unblock the road. So let's reallocate that fire truck there. And I don't think this fire truck's doing anything, is it? No, let's get that to deal with that issue there. And I think that's all we can deal with for now. We just don't have any more units available, I don't think. Or actually, no, this unit can go and deal with that situation there as well. So let's speed time back up again and roll things through a bit. Martin asks, have I been fired on this game yet? I have in the campaign mode. San Francisco is quite a tough city to run, and I have been fired on that one. But in my sort of private games like this, no. In the free games, I haven't. Another unit here under fire in need of backup. I don't have any backup I can send. And now we've got a new incident popping in. One suspect, possibly armed. So again, all of our units, they're taking fire at the moment, which means we're going to have a shortfall of staff. What are they saying they can't do? They're going back to the hospital. I think they've dealt with that. We've got another call coming in. Let's have a look at that call.
911, what's your emergency?
My car was stolen.
When was your car stolen?
I just saw my car is gone, but I have no idea when exactly that happened.
Where did this happen?
In front of a shopping mall.
Sir, are you sure you didn't park your car in a no parking zone, or somebody's driveway, or maybe a bus stop?
I'm sure I didn't. It was a normal parking place.
Maybe you left your car somewhere else, sir.
No, rather not.
Okay, so I've got a choice here. I could take the emergency, but we're really busy. It's not an emergency, so we're going to tell him politely, go away.
Case, and so you need to contact your local police station. They'll help you out.
Of course. Thank you for your help and sorry for blocking the line. Goodbye.
Sometimes people will take that quite well. Sometimes they'll get very shirty with you. This can now go deal with that incident. Are we good up here? Yep. And they're done. Excellent stuff. We've got one person in custody in the back of that vehicle, so we'll wait for them to clear and then we'll send them to that incident there. This unit's finished. They're done. Actually, we'll send these guys over to go and back those ones up. And we're starting to catch up. A shoplifter. Yep, we've got a unit getting ready to go to that. Building on fire. Okay, that's a large fire as well, so we need to get a couple of units into that one. Take the call first.
What's your emergency?
Help! My kitchen is on fire!
Where are you calling from? What's on fire?
Oil in the frying pan.
Okay, so this one we can actually deal with without sending out the units.
Okay, I want you to stay calm. Carefully cover the fire with a damp towel.
It didn't help. What should I do?
Okay, get yourself and anyone else that's in the house out of the house now. The fire department will be there soon.
Okay.
Okay, so you never want to throw water on an oil fire ever, and it appears that the only extinguisher in this game is a water extinguisher, so that's not helped us at all. Usually we can put those fires out just with the direction and instruction. Let's see. Let's try and catch up on some of these calls. Let's deal with that one there. We need another fire truck, an actual proper fire truck. Send that up there because it sounded like it was a big fire. Those two units still dealing with that call there. This unit here, send them over there. These officers now under fire. Let's send a helicopter there to go and at least provide any first aid to that officer that's been injured by the look of it. Probably going to need to send a police vehicle there for transport as well. And let's take a look at this one here. Car reported driving through a red light. So it's a simple one, but we don't have any units available. So that one might possibly time out on us. That vehicle might be able to get away because we just don't have any units free to deal with that at the moment. What's this call over here? Oh, I've got a fire there as well, haven't we? So let's send these two fire trucks over to that call there. And hopefully we can try and get on top of everything again. Oh, we've got a spare unit there as well, look. Another new incident. Broken electrical lines. We need a technical truck for that one. The technical truck is over there. Let's reallocate that over there. Deal with that issue. They still haven't dealt with that because they need, medical assistance. Okay, so that should free up one of the cars there. And there we go. Hopefully one of our police cars will spot. Nope, he hasn't.
911, what's your emergency?
A murder has been committed.
Where did this happen? Could you tell me who's the murderer?
I am.
Who's the victim?
It's my wife. Could you send the police here?
Are you sure your wife is dead?
Yes. Yes, I'm sure.
Do you have a weapon?
Yeah, I have a gun.
You're going to need to put the gun away, okay?
Yes. I'll put it on the table. I'm nowhere near the gun.
Stay where you are. Wait for the police. They're going to be there shortly. They'll take care of this.
Okay, I'll wait. Thank you.
Okay, so someone's offed his wife. We're going to need to send a unit out there to deal with that. Calls are just flooding in again. So 2 suspects, possibly armed. We're going to send this unit out here. Going to need to send medical team out there as well. There we go. And how are we looking? Oh, there's another one over here as well, look. 2 people, possibly armed. Also going to need some backup over there. Let's bring this unit down a bit. Let's just check on this fire.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? Oh, yeah, hi. I have a problem. I ordered a pizza, and it's too damn spicy.
Okay, so this one's a prank call. There are a couple of pizza calls. This one's a prank call.
Excuse me?
My pizza. It's extremely spicy. I can barely manage to eat a slice.
Are you in danger but can't talk about it because there's someone in the room?
What? No, I just want to get my money
Is this a joke?
Yo, do I sound like I'm joking? Pizza is never a joke.
Listen, are you high right now?
As a kite, and I want my munchies. It's tough, man.
Sir, we can't help you.
Think how you would feel if it was your pizza. I'm disappointed, dude. May your pizza never be too spicy. Peace.
So obviously we're going to ignore that call. We've got a cat stuck in a tree. We'll send the technical team to deal with that one. Another one here, and heart attack. We need to get on that one quickly. Let's send the helicopter to that one. We need a medical unit over here. That unit's under fire. Let's send some backup to help them out. And obviously we've got that unit under fire. Let's send the bike over there. Now the countdown clock at the top has now filled in completely. So these are the last jobs. We won't get any more after this. These are the last jobs of this shift. You can see we're kind of getting on top of things. Let's send an actual fire truck there to get that one done a little bit quicker as well. And there we go. That call's been resolved. That one over there has been resolved. That one's just been resolved. So it's just the cat stuck up a tree that's left to deal with. GP says, well, the newspapers weren't lying about the gun crime in Nottingham. Yeah, there's a reason Nottingham has a nickname Shottingham. So there we go. We get a summary of our day today. So you can see all of the jobs that we've dealt with. I don't think we actually missed any. Let's just have a scroll through. I think we resolved... Oh, we had one here, stolen car. We ignored the stolen car. And we got -9 on our reputation as a result of that, because we didn't send a unit out there. I think we made the right choice, and we certainly didn't have any free units available at the time, so I'm not too worried about that. Everything else that we did, we got a resolution for. Mostly positive. This one we didn't get any real points for. And you see we did 26 cases, 5 people in prison, 5 people billed, 9 people hospitalised, no one dead, 16 people assisted or healed, with a reputation score of 56. There's actually a trophy for getting a reputation of 100 in a single day shift. You can see we had a base income of $5,000. We got rewarded with $53,000, $6,600 in fines. We had to pay out $8,400 in salaries. So we made just under 60 grand, which is good. We can certainly buy some extra staff. We do have 1 injured police officer, so we're going to be down at least 1 member of staff. And on top of that, we can also buy some equipment and really try and improve how quickly we can turn around some of those things. So let's move on to the base page, ready for day 2. So you can see we've lost 1 member of staff from the bike there. Alice Morgan was the 2nd member of staff on that bike team. She's now missing. If we move across to squads, we're also kind of missing somebody in one of these slots. What I'm going to do to start with is I'm actually going to take this member of staff out and then reallocate that member of staff to the bike just there for now. And we're going to start looking at getting some equipment for our guys. So let's scroll down to the equipment tab. What I like to do is I like to equip my officers with handguns as standard, just so that if they get into a situation where they do come under fire, they've got a way of defending themselves. I've got 1 left over for the injured staff member. And actually might have someone there that needs a gun. So let's allocate that out. And what I also like to do is I like to purchase the system terminal in the police equipment. These help speed up how quickly you process people when you're interviewing taking statements, or just running checks and stuff like that. They help speed up how quickly you can turn around those cases. So I like to have one of those in every single unit. So if we go back across and allocate these into each of these units, like that. There we go. Other equipment that we could add in could be, better weaponry. So we've got rifles here. There's a shotgun a little bit further down, just there. You can see we also have a bomb disposal robot, tasers, things like that. All sorts of stuff, and bulletproof vests as well. What I generally tend to like to do is use the bulletproof vests on the vans or the riot vans when we can finally afford that. We're not going to buy any other equipment for the police just yet. Oh, we're missing a police terminal. I forgot there's 5 police units, not 4. So let's allocate our 5th unit with the scanner as well. If I toggle through to the fires, I'm actually going to take this guy out of there and put him into that. Oh, wrong spot. There is no way to quickly move someone, unfortunately, from one space to another. You have to strip him out completely and then put him back in where you want him. Same with equipment. But we're going to toggle up our firefighters a little bit. So, let's see. Fire suits. Here we go. I'm going to buy firefighter masks and fire equipment. 2 for each fire truck. And the first one in each team is the driver, so I don't want to send him into the fire. I don't know if it makes a difference. I don't think the game is perhaps that intricate that it allows that level of choice, but it just makes it easier for me to remember which one's the driver if I put them in first. They're the ones with the best driving skill. So I'm suiting up 2 in each of these fire trucks with full firefighting gear. So masks and suits. So if there is a fire, they will be able to deal with those a lot more safely and reduce the risk of any injury. There we go. Let's toggle on to the medical staff. What I want to do with these guys is I want to make sure that we have defibrillators on each of these units. Oops. I don't think it makes a difference again as to exactly which member of staff has the equipment, but I like to try and keep the slots identical so that I know exactly what's in what slot. So there we go. Each unit there has a defibrillator, which means if they have a heart attack, they can deal with those a lot quicker. There are also, obviously, chest compression kits as well. We're going to probably get some of those too. I'm looking at how much money I've got left. We had about 60 grand, actually more than 60 grand, and I'm now down to just under 8. So probably not going to be able to buy anything else. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a couple of police dogs. If I go back to my police units here, I'm going to stick the dogs in the vans. We've got K9 units. There we go. And that's it. That's pretty much all of our money gone. We can't really afford to buy anything else of any real use. So we'll bank the remaining 1900 and look at maybe doing the same sort of thing or some form of expanding or improving again at the end of day 2. We can also try out some different maps as well. So again, I'm going to start spreading these units around a little bit more. Give us good base coverage. That's a fire truck down there, isn't it? Yep. Let's put a fire truck there. Let's That's a fire truck. That's a fire truck. Which means that there is our tech truck, and I want that in the middle. We're missing a police unit. It's going to be over here. Nope. Oops. Put the bike on the outskirts. And let's bring the police cars in a little bit more. And there we go. It's a reasonably decent kind of spread, I think, of our units. So let's start deployment and get through our second day. Martin says I'm good at this game. I've played a lot of it over the last few days. I wouldn't say I'm great at the game, but I've got a pretty good understanding of it now. And I've got used to a lot of the calls. You will see quite a few of the calls come through again and again. Sometimes it's multiple times in the same day. Suspicious guy offered to something nice to buy. We will send a squad car to go and investigate that. First call of the day.
911, what's your emergency?
Help! I can't breathe. I'm trapped in the car.
Sir, keep calm. Where are you?
Okay, so this happens no matter which of the two options you choose. He always ends the call immediately, and we have to stay on the line to locate where he is. So hopefully we're not going to get bombarded with incidents popping up while we're waiting to trace where this call is. And there we go. We have an actual location. So we need to get a medical unit over there fast. We also need to get a firefighting truck over there to free him from the car, potentially. We've got this incident here. Car blocking the road. We need the tech truck over that. We need to obviously take statements as well. What else came in? 2 armed men attacking people on the street. Okay, we're going to want a big unit for that. Another call coming in.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, I have a problem. Someone is trying to get into my house through the back door.
Okay, I'm going to pause this one for a second. Now, this one, I know the best way to do this particular call, but
He sent someone.
there are different ways of actually dealing with this, and you can have, sometimes the choices and the advice you give can have horrific consequences for the person making the call.
Probably drunk again. What should I do?
Hang on for a sec, okay? I want you to find a room that you can lock the door on. And then get in there, shut it, and lock it, okay?
Okay. Oh God. He knows I'm here.
Hold on, I know you can do this. Police are on the way.
What should I do? I have my father's gun. Should I shoot him?
Okay, so I'm going to go with the third way.
I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. You have to decide this yourself. But remember, the law allows you self-defense in your own home.
Ray, I have a gun. Please stop. Ray, I will shoot you. Get away from the door. I think I calmed him down. Come here quickly.
Okay, pause this one. So, the reason why I say sometimes the choices you make can have drastic consequences, this is an example of one of those calls. And if I'd said shoot him, she'd have shot him and he'd be dead. That's probably not the best outcome. And if I'd said don't shoot him, he'd have killed her. And that's very much definitely not the right outcome. By advising her that, it's up to her, she then makes the call through the door to him that, she's got a gun and she will shoot him if necessary. He backs down, gives us the chance to go over there and actually arrest him, and it's the best possible outcome. There are other calls where you can give someone the wrong advice and it it can mean death for the person on the end of the phone. So whereas before we had that call on day one where we had the oil fire and we could have said, use the extinguisher, that would have just caused the fire to just explode in the house, and we could potentially have killed that person by giving that advice. So you do have to be very careful sometimes the options that you choose, the advice you give. You do need common sense, and a little bit of knowledge can sometimes go a long way as well. The game is very good about giving you some useful hints and tips in the loading screens, which you can tap through and read through, and it's highly advised that you do that if you don't know anything about some of these situations. So let's catch up on these other incidents that we got just as that call came in. I've got a cat stuck in a tree. Yeah, we can send a unit over to that. Got one there. Deal with that. This unit over here, we've got one person trapped. You can see the gear symbol there shows that technical work is required, which is why we have this fire truck on the way there. And you can see any unit that's been allocated or is on duty, you'll see that they'll have a little flashing blue light. So you can see we've just sent that one off, and it now has a blue flashing light. This unit here is just on regular patrol, waiting for a job, no flashing light. This one here has finished a call, has somebody in the back, and is going to be taken to this nearest police station for processing there, drop off, and then they'll be ready to be sent out again. Obviously, if there is somebody in the back, you can send them if you want to. You can send that unit out, but if you have multiple spaces needed and you only have one or no spaces available, then it's kind of a waste of time. This is the 911 call we've just received, so we're going to send the police unit there. I'm also going to send a medical unit just in case he kicks off and our officers get attacked. And let's just double check over here what's going on over here. This firefighting unit not actually needed, so we can actually pull that unit off the job because they're no longer needed, and we're going to bring them over this way and get them to park up somewhere over there waiting for the next call. So we'll get time running again and see how we do. A couple of questions in the chat. Ricky says, when am I going back to Farming Simulator 19? When I get a new map to play on. I've been through this many times now, but I'm waiting for a new map, and as soon as a new map comes out, I will start doing something new with FS19. Martin says, when you play this game, do you use headphones or just the sound through the TV? I just play with the TV, but you can play with headphones, and you can sometimes hear a bit better with the headphones. Sometimes you can hear what's going on in the background on this game in particular on the phone calls, so it can help maybe influence your choice on how you respond to a call, whether you send out which service you send out, or whether you send out multiple services, just by what you can hear going on in the background. It doesn't always happen, but it's an option. But you don't have to have headphones, you can play without them. Okay, we've got a stolen vehicle. I'm going to send the bike after that one because it's a fast unit. How are these guys doing over here? They're fine. Putting that person into custody, and they're done. So they're now taking him to the nearest police station, which is there. A crime organisation is meeting at this place. 4 armed suspects. Okay, so I'm going to need... Yeah, see, look, straight away, they're under fire, need backup. That's why I sent the police there with an ambulance as well.
911, what's your emergency?
So, I chopped my leg off.
You chopped off your leg?
I helped my cousin in the workshop, pushed wood with my leg, and slipped into the press. I can't take it out. Please help.
Is your cousin with you?
No, he went out for good. He'll be back in the evening, but there's no one here. There's no one around.
Okay. Where are you calling from? Do you have something to tie around your leg?
No, just some tools, an axe and a hammer.
All right, take off your shirt then.
What?
I want you to take off your shirt, tear it up if necessary, and firmly tie it around your leg, just above your injury.
Okay. Done.
Good. I know this won't be easy, but I need you to calmly breathe. Relax. The ambulance will arrive soon.
God, I think I'm passing out.
No, you're not. Keep talking to me. Tell me, do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I have a fiance. We were we're gonna get married in 2 months. Oh, God, please. Just let it end.
Okay, keep calm. The ambulance is on the way. It'll be there in a few minutes.
Hurry.
So let's get some medical staff out to him as quick as we can. I'm going to send a fire truck there as well, just in case they need to cut him free. Ownership of illegal software and/or data reported. We're getting quite a few things all flooding in, and this is sometimes, I'm going to slow down for a second, this is sometimes the drawback to long calls like this, is that a number of incidents will all pop in while you're stuck on the call, and you can't deal with them until you get off the line. And sometimes, like we had with the guy who had a car collapse on him, and he hung up after just saying, "I'm trapped under a car." You have to stay on the line to trace the call, or sometimes you forget to ask where the call is before you send out the emergency services. The call ends and you don't know where to send them, so you have to stay on the line to trace the location. And you sit there and you wait and you wait and you wait, and all these incidents start coming in. And if you don't get to them, then you don't get to them in time, and you lose reputation for ignoring the incident. So you want to try and get through the calls as quickly as you can, but you want to make sure you're being as effective and efficient as you can, because sometimes you can deal with the calls without needing to send out an emergency service, so you can take a little bit of the pressure off. Sometimes you can advise it's a non-emergency situation. Sometimes you'll just get a really long prank call that you have to deal with. You can be abrupt. You can always just hang up at any time, but as I say, you do lose reputation points for that, so you need to be very careful and strike a good balance. Let's try and play catch up again as to where we are. We've got carbon monoxide poisoning. Do I have a nearby medical unit I can send to that one? Yes, I do. We've got another incident over here. Family argument broken out, possible harassment. We need to send somebody out here. And here's the drawback to the bikes. The bikes are quick, but you can't transport suspects on a bike. So I need to send a police vehicle over there to go and deal with that, to pick up the suspect, to then free up the bike. Otherwise, that bike's just going to sit there waiting and waiting and waiting for an eternity. So that unit is going to have to go out there. This one here, we're going to pull across to this location here. Need a medical unit to get there as well. And send that unit up that way. That's the one we're dealing with just now. I've got this one here. What's this? Oh, that's the armed suspect, so I kind of need the vans that I've just allocated for that one. And what's this one here? Oh, we've got a unit on the way to that one. So where's this unit going? To that issue there. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that unit and I'm going to reallocate that to this crime here. Take that unit and allocate it to that job there instead, and then hopefully this one will be over pretty quickly, and I can then send that one over to reinforce that one if necessary. Plus I've got a medical chopper standing by to come and help out with medical issues over here if necessary. So we've kind of tagged a lot of those jobs there. Do I have someone on the way to this job here? Yes, I do. Good. Oh yeah, I sent the fire team as well. So we'll speed things back up again and get things going. Adrian's popped in the chat. How you doing, Adrian? This game is 911 operator. You control the emergency services and have to respond to calls, some genuine, some pranks. Another new incident. A person has fallen from the stairs. Heavy unknown injuries occurred. It's all the way up there. I've got no spare medical units, so I'm going to have to send the chopper to this one. Plus, it's a really long way as well, so we'll send the chopper for that one. And we've got a new call.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, I would like to order a steak pepperoni with extra cheese, please.
Okay, so this is the other pizza call I was telling you about.
Excuse me, you've reached 911.
Yes, I know. Oh, 2 cans of soda.
Ma'am, do you have an emergency?
Yes, I do.
And you can't talk about it because of someone in the room?
Yes, exactly.
Do you also need medical attention? Is somebody hurt?
Yes. Do you know how long it will be?
Who's the oppressor? I have an officer about a mile away. I'll send it right away.
Yes, please.
Are there any weapons in the house?
Yes.
Can you stay on the line with me?
No, thanks. I hope we'll get here soon.
All right, the officers are coming.
So there we go. That is a much more drastic version of the pizza call. This one is obviously a much more serious. Someone is making a coded call for help, and we have to respond. This is going to be a tricky one to deal with, given how stretched our units are, and it's all the way down here as well. You can see this unit here is under fire. This bike is going to go and back them up on that one there. I need a medical unit to go to this one. I think they're already on a job. They're on this one here, I think. Or they might be on their way to this one, actually. Let's see. Everything else covered. What do we have over here? Oops. No, I've just allocated them by mistake. I need to reallocate them back to there. There we go. Just click off before I click on this. Here we go. So more dodgy data. That's the call that we've just had. We need to get someone out there as quick as we can. We're going to send one of these vans over there as soon as it's dropped off. So we'll have to speed times back up again. Need to hope we don't get too many more incidents popping in that all require the same as well. So again, another emergency to deal with. This ambulance is full, so we'll have to send that one out there as quickly as we can. Oh, no, the helicopter's free. Send the helicopter there quickly. Another incident. Speeding police car. I'd like to send the bike on that one, but I can't. Oh, actually, the police are fine over here. Let's send them there instead.
911, what's your emergency?
My car was stolen
Where did this happen?
in front of a shopping mall.
When was your car stolen?
I just saw my car is gone, but I have no idea when exactly that happened.
What's the address of where this happened, sir?
It happened at...
Sir, are you sure you didn't park your car in, a no parking zone, somebody's driveway, or maybe a bus stop?
I was. Damn it. There was no parking sign. I just realized that. Sorry. How can I get my car back?
Your car was towed to the police impound yard. Just call the police at their non-emergency number and they'll help you out.
Thank you. Goodbye.
So there we go. We actually managed to resolve that one without the need to send a unit out. So we can ignore that call. Let's see. I've got a unit over here. Where's that speeding vehicle? I think we've lost it. Oh no, there it is. I need to get this police unit here to go and deal with that situation. This van. Let's send them down there. We're really sort of stacking up our jobs again quite quickly. Let's see. I need a medical unit there. I need a medical unit to come down here. I've got a lot of people injured here, as you can see. In terms of casualties, I've got one injured police officer and 1, 2, 3, 4 injured suspects to deal with. So I'm going to need to send a second medical unit there to deal with those. I'm actually going to send the helicopter there as well. So it's 5 people to deal with, so I need 5 spaces. What do we have down here? Someone fallen. What's this one? A gas cylinder has exploded, causing damage and injuries. We've got a large job here, so I'm going to need 2 fire engines on this one, by the sound of it. It's going to be quickest to send this unit, I think, as the second unit. Plus, again, we're going to need to send a medical unit as soon as possible down there as well. So we definitely need to invest in additional services, additional staff and units for our forces. We just can't keep up at the moment. And we've got drinking in public to deal with as well. It's a low priority one, so if that one slips away from us, so be it. There's not really a lot else we can do here at the moment. I need to send medicals over here as well, I think, possibly. Yes, you can see she's hurt. She's the one who made the call. He's in custody, or is being put into custody. We need to get a medical unit over there straight away. And you can see clicking that has now changed that from just a police-only response to a police and a medical response, as it's updated the information there. So instead, I'm actually going to take this helicopter, which was going to go to that call, and I'm going to send that down here to resolve that one as quickly as we can, because that'll free up both the helicopter and also that police unit again. So let's get time rolling again. So you can see all of our police units going off to various different calls. Our bike chasing down the speeding vehicle. We'll probably have to allocate a police transport to that as well at some point. A new incident, illegal parking, technical firefighter needed for that one, and a new call.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? I would like to report a robbery.
Where did this happen?
Around...
How long ago did this happen?
a moment ago.
Are your attackers still in the area?
I have no idea. They ran away somewhere.
Do you have any injuries?
No, I think we're fine.
Okay, so you're not injured, and the people who robbed you aren't in the area right now.
Well, yes, but I have been robbed.
I want you to go to your nearest police office and report the crime. Right now, there's nothing we can do about it.
But they... all right, whatever.
Normally I would send someone out to that call, but we just don't have the units available. So we are going to have to give them other instructions. We need to ignore this call as well. There we go. Where's the dodgy data? Let's send that one over that way with the bike. They can deal with that one. I'm going to slow time down again just to get my bearings, see what we need to catch up on. See, both of these ambulances heading off to the nearest medical facilities over here. One of them's got to go back and deal with that. I'm going to send the helicopter that. Our woman who phoned in, she was being attacked in her own home and called the police pretending to order a pizza. You can see he's now in custody on his way back to a police station there. What's this call here? I've got some vandalism going on at Queen's Drive. That's an industrial estate here in Nottingham. And then 2 potentially armed people here and a need for medical assistance as well. I need to deal with this one. I need more medical units. I just don't have enough medical units to deal with all these calls that are coming in. I need to send somebody to that there, and then we can get to this one here, and then we can start dealing with these as well. It's a lot. We don't have enough services to be able to deal with all the calls that are coming in and all the incidents that are happening. So hopefully we'll make some good money today.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, I would like to order a steak pepperoni with extra cheese, please.
And there we go. We've got another instance of this one again.
Excuse me? You've reached 911.
Yes, I know. Oh, 2 cans of soda.
Ma'am, do you have an emergency?
Yes, I do.
And you can't talk about it because of someone in the room?
Yes, exactly.
You also need medical attention? Is somebody hurt?
Yes. Do you know how long it will be?
I have an officer about a mile away. I'll send it right away.
Yes, please.
Are there any weapons in the house?
Yes.
Can you stay on the line with me?
No, thanks. I hope we'll get here soon.
All right, the officers are coming.
So we answered the call in a slightly different way this time, and we found out during the process of the call that she's injured, or somebody's injured, and medical assistance is needed. We found that out in the call. So we'll now know, just from that interview that we've just carried out on the phone, that we need to send medical units there as well as a police unit. Again, we're kind of overloaded at the moment with units not being able to go where they need to. Let's try and deal with these as efficiently as we can. This unit's about to drop off, and then it's going to go there. Kind of running out of police units at the moment as well. They're all kind of allocated on jobs. Let's check on the progress of this one over here. Oops. Just allocated that unit by mistake. Let's send them back to the nearest police station. Well, I can't send them back to the nearest police station now. I have to send them to this one instead because I can't click on the nearest one. There we go. I need to check on the progress of what's going on over here. Why are they just still sat there? They're still interviewing and processing. Okay, so they'll be fined for vandalism, no doubt. We have another new incident there. Suspicious guy offered something nice to buy. So again, it's a low priority call. We'll try and get to it if we can, but we need to deal with these more pressing emergency calls first if we want to get a good score and good feedback. Our reputation's at 51 already, and there's still time in the day, plus calls not resolved yet. Here's another one. Man is going to jump off a bridge. Okay, we need to send firefighters to that one, and we need a fast response from a nearby medical unit. We'll send the helicopter on that one. This unit is fine. Let's send those guys there, and we can send that police unit there. Another new call.
911, what's your emergency?
Oh, it's this prank call.
Excuse me?
So there is a way to get a trophy on this one.
Hello? Is it me you're looking for? 'Cause I wonder where you are, and I wonder what you do. You're all I've ever wanted, and I love you too. Bye, buddy.
And that's how you get the sense of humour trophy, is to basically sing back at someone who's singing to you down the phone. It's a fun little one, that one. Right, let's try and deal with some of these other calls that are over here. This police unit's going to need to go up there because we've got that woman who's been assaulted. We need to deal with that. This unit is free, so let's send that one up there as well. Still dealing with this one over here. What's going on over here? So one person being attended to medically. You can see our medical teams there. They're also putting out a fire and dealing with a technical issue as well. So that one's being dealt with. A new call came in here. Driver drove off the road, crashing his car. Need for a firefighter intervention. Large technical job. And we also need medical assistance as well. We've got a fire truck here. Let's send that. We've also got one up here as well. Car blocking someone's driveway. So we can send the bike to deal with that one. And we'll send this truck up there to deal with that as well. So that's that job dealt with. I still need to deal with this one. That's the suspicious guy. So we'll get the nearest available unit on that as soon as we can. I think, is this unit actually doing anything? No, they're not. Let's send them down there to deal with that. And I think that's us caught up on every job so far. I think. I hope. Still time for another one to come in yet. And there it is. Car driving against traffic. I've got no units available to go and deal with that, so hopefully he won't disappear off the map before we get the chance to deal with him. Alright, that one's resolved. You can see we've got 2 people in custody there, so that car is completely full. They're under fire, need backup. I don't have any backup I can send. All my other units are indisposed at the moment. We've dealt with this fire over here. That's good. That's been resolved now. Let's send another truck over there. It's quite a large technical job, wasn't it? Let's go deal with that car. These guys are under fire. Let's back them up and let's send some medical assistance as well because they are taking fire. And I think that's it. I think we've done everything that needs to be done. I'm actually going to send in an ambulance as well. Anyone else injured on this one? I've got an injured officer. Another injured officer. I might need to hire some more police officers at the end of the day. Alright, this is our last job that needs dealing with then. Do I have medical? No, I've got no medical over there yet. I need to send that quick. So you can see the response needed to deal with the technical issue represented by the cog. The old guy with the flashing blood there representing that someone's injured needs medical attention, which is why I've routed an ambulance there as well. And then at the end of this, that'll be the end of the day. And you can see we've actually gained a lot of reputation on today. It's been a very busy day for calls. Lucas asks, what's my favourite incident on this game? I don't really have a favourite incident. I haven't really given it much thought. I mean, there are some funny ones. There are some not so funny ones, and there are some quite serious ones. There are some that kind of wind me up a little bit by just if they keep popping up the same time over and over again. There's one guy, I had one guy phone up with the same call 4 times in one day. It was Jacob having his cat stuck up a tree. So one time, normally I just send the fire trucks out there to deal with it. One time I got fed up with it, so I just told him to climb the tree himself. He fell, broke his leg, and then I had to send the fire truck to get the cat and an ambulance to sort his leg out as well. So that's probably my least favourite call. But I think we actually resolved everything. Oh, we had a stolen car. That's from day 1, I think. So how did we do today? We had a foot injury that we timed out on. But everything else we managed to do. And I think bar 1, we got some pretty quickly. So we managed to deal with those without them being major issues. So a good day. We made $87,760 today. Combine that with the $2,000 or so that we had left over, we got just a touch under 90 grand. So hopefully that's enough to buy a vehicle and some staff and maybe some equipment as well. Let's take a look. See what we've got. We've got quite a few injuries. This is down to a skeleton team now of just one person because we have 3 injured officers, 2 that are partially injured. This guy's very injured, which is a shame because he's actually my driver, or one of my drivers, I think. So let's look at hiring some new police staff. Let's see. Very good driving score, not very good at marksmanship. Decent driving, very good marksmanship. Let's hire that driver. or that officer, and let's allocate him to this unit here. I'm going to give him some equipment, so I want him to have a gun, and I want to give him the dog. Anyone who has equipment when they're injured, that equipment gets taken off. So you can see, why have I got an extra dog? Where's that come from? Did I buy too many dogs? Possibly. Lucas says you don't get police dogs on Xbox, or was there an update? I've only had this game a few days, and they're in there as standard on this. I think this game came out on Xbox way before it came out on PS4. I might be wrong, but this has everything. You know, there was as I said at the start, there was when this first came out on PC, there was a base game, and then there was a Kickstarter bundle, which included extra stuff, so extra equipment, extra vehicles, extra options for you, and everything is bundled in on the PS4. So let's see, I've got more police officers down here I can look at hiring as well. Let's see, yes, let's hire an extra police officer. Let's take Jaden Wilson, and we'll stick him in this unit here. And let's give him a gun. And we'll give him a dog as well. There we go. Right, I want to try and expand the number of units I've got. I'm wondering whether to go with a police unit or a medical unit. I think... Let's have a look, see how much they're going to cost. So, if I toggle through, so I'm looking at just police at the moment. 20 grand for a bike. Yeah, bikes are useful for low priority calls or where a rapid response is needed, but they have no transport options because they're a bike. You can't just throw a passenger or a suspect on the back of a bike. So I try to stay away from the bikes where I can. Police cars are basic stuff. They're 50 grand. They're not too expensive. We could afford one of those, and we could probably afford to hire a couple of officers with equipment and stick them in there. A van would be more useful, more spaces, slightly slower. A police copter would be nice, but very, very expensive. They are 200,000, way out of our budget. I could just about afford a van. I would also love to have maybe a police armoured van, so I could build a SWAT team. But again, 300,000 for an armoured van. So a bit more than I can afford there. We've got the option of an unmarked police car for 75,000. They're fast. So they're essentially as effective as a bike in terms of speed, but not only that, they also have 2 spaces for picking up people as well. So an unmarked police car might be a good option. If we take a look at medical units, I've got enough for an ambulance. They are 50,000. We've got a medical transport, which has 3 spaces. So that's 50 grand. We've also got things like a rescue vehicle here, the medical car. These are useful in terms of being quite fast compared to normal ambulances. Only have 1 space in the back though, so only good for small medical responses. But a medical car might be useful. We do have the helicopter, so I think we're okay on medical units. I think we'll probably be better off with another police unit. So let's look at getting, I don't know, either a normal police car or an unmarked police car. What do you guys think? What would you rather we bought? A standard police car or unmarked? A bit more expensive, but we can afford both of them, or either of them. So let me know now in the comments which of those you would like me to purchase, and that's the one we'll go with. Got a random vote for a horse there. So a couple of votes for a regular cruiser at the moment, one for an unmarked. I'll give you another minute or so, get your suggestions in. Deafening Wings suggests a police helicopter, which I can't afford. I have 85 grand to spend, and they are 200 grand. A couple more votes for the undercover car. That's now proving to be the more popular choice. That's the one I'm kind of hoping for as well. So. And another one for unmarked. Yeah, so it looks as though most people now wanting to see the unmarked police car, which is cool. That's the one I was hoping to buy, so we'll pick that one up. Now we need to create a new team. There we go, and allocate that police car in there. I also need to put at least one member of staff in that, and I don't have any available officers left. So it means either taking one out from an existing team, because you can't have a unit with no people in it. It has to be at least one person in the unit. So let's take a look. Can I afford an officer or two? I've got 10 grand, so I can afford a couple of officers. Oh, Nathan Wood. Good driving and good marksmanship. Yeah, we'll hire him. And just him on his own at the moment. Hopefully he'll be okay. There we go. In fact, what I'll do is I'll take the second officer off the bike and put him in the car. There we go. So let's make sure that every unit has a scanner. So I've got a little bit of equipment that I need to buy. Let's take a look what I have left over. One pistol. So I'll allocate that there. I've got a little bit of cash left. 8 grand. It's enough to buy a scanner and a second handgun. Actually, what I'm going to do with the second driver, I'm going to give him a shotgun. Actually, I've got left 3 grand. Yeah, we'll do that, and let's give him the scanner, and this guy, give him a shotgun. There we go. So we're pretty much out of cash. Let's just check in with our firefighters. I'm actually going to give a first aid kit to my tech truck, just in case. And that's it. We're skinned. We have $384 left. So that's it for our spending for this one. We're going to play one more day on this, and then we're going to go and back to the main menu, and we're going to pick a random city from you guys in the comments. So when we get to the end of the day, if you want to see your city pulled up, then stick it in the comments, and we will pick one of those at random, and that'll be the one that we play on next. So wait till the end of the day. Don't start typing in now, because they'll disappear in the comments and I won't see them. But when this day is over, I'm ready to start doing that. If you want your city to be looked at as a potential for our next playthrough, then, because we'll just do a couple of quick playthroughs, and then stick it in the comments, and we will choose from that. Where's my unmarked car? There we go. That's the unmarked one. Let's stick that cruising around here in the city centre. Let's start spreading out the medical units a bit. bring one over here. Leave one up here. Oh, that's it, isn't it? Okay, so let's move that one over here then. There we go. And let's move the fire trucks. So one over here. One over here. One over here. Let's bring the tech truck into the centre. Taurus asks, what cities are there? Every city in the world is a potential that you can use. So I just typed my home city in Nottingham, and it pulled up the map for Nottingham, and I can play on that. Some of the smaller towns, like my hometown of Rugby, it wouldn't find it. It would find a different Rugby, I think, in America, but it wouldn't find my hometown of Rugby. But some small towns are there. There are some places with populations of less than 10,000 where it will pull the map up. Most of them seem to be American. But you can just type any city in the world in, and it will pull it up, and you can play on that map. And your starting resources will vary depending on the map you choose. So for Nottingham, it starts you with everything that we've got here, plus we've bought an additional police car, but all the other units, in terms of 3 fire trucks, a technical truck, the 3 ambulances and the helicopter, the 2 vans, the 2 squad cars, and the bike. That's your starting equipment for Nottingham. Whereas on a smaller city, you'll get less. London, you'll get even more than this, because London's huge. London's got like 7-8 million people. So you need a much, much larger amount of starting equipment to cover the entire area of London. Right, what's our first incident today going to be? A heart attack. Okay, we need immediate response. We've got a vehicle quite close, otherwise I would have sent the helicopter. But all of our units do have defibrillators, which are perfect for this call.
911, what's your emergency?
Papa! There's a bat in my apartment!
Okay.
What's your address? Ma'am, you can help yourself here. Just open a window wide and turn off the lights. Before you know it, the bat'll be gone.
We get to be cheeky on this call.
So, what do you want me to do? Send Batman?
I don't care whom you send, just send someone!
We can get quite snarky with
Okay,
people.
I'll send somebody to help. Just
I'm actually
stay-
going to send someone out to help on that one.
Hurry!
So I'm going to send the bike, and I'm going to need someone to open the window, so I'll need to send a technical team there as well. We've got a speeding car. Perfect. Let's break out the unmarked cruiser. Send that after the speeding police car, or the speeding car there.
What's your emergency?
Hello? I'm a watchman at a construction site, and I just noticed there's a fire.
Where is it, sir?
At
Sir, what's on fire?
one of the building's roof. It's on fire. I don't know what happened.
Is there anyone inside the building?
I don't know, but I think the workers, they evacuated.
Is the building connected to a gas supply?
It might be. I'm not sure.
What I want you to do, sir, is get help from the workers, try to locate the main gas valve for the area, and cut off the gas.
Okay, I know where that is. I'll do it right now.
We've got someone in heavy diabetic shock as well. Let's send an ambulance there. Where's our call? Oh, it's all the way up there, look. We need to send fire trucks to that one. I'm going to send 2 fire trucks to that one. Another new incident, a car blocking the road. We'll send a technical truck for that one. David absolutely loving the fact that we can suggest sending Batman. Yeah, some of these callers you can be quite sarcastic with sometimes. It's trying to be professional and not do that. Gunshot victim, heavy bleeding, so we need to get someone there pretty quickly. New call?
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, I need some help.
What's the problem, little guy?
Where's my math?
With your math?
I have to do it. Will you help me?
So we can actually teach this guy the math.
All right. What's the math?
Okay, 17.
Yeah.
Take away 7.
Mm-hmm.
Is what?
You tell me. How much do you think it is?
I don't know. 1?
That's 10.
Okay.
Yeah. What's another problem? That was a tough one.
Here's 1. 4, take away 4.
And how much do you think that is?
5. Oh, God, what are you doing? The policeman is helping me with math. What did I tell you about playing on the phone? But I need help, so I need to call something. Yeah, but I didn't mean to believe. Hello? I'm sorry.
No problem, ma'am. Is everything all right there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll tell him to stay on the phone.
It's all right, ma'am. Just make sure he's not afraid to make a 911 call in the future, okay?
Of course. Thanks. Goodbye.
There we go. Now, normally I don't bother entertaining that, but I think sometimes it's quite fun just to try out some of the other possibilities. We've got broken electrical lines reported, so let's send a truck over to deal with that. I would normally send the tech truck. If actually, we've got a truck that's much closer, so we'll leave this one down here. Let's draft in one of these 2 trucks instead to deal with that job. Gang wars. Okay, 3 suspects, all potentially armed, so we want to go heavy with this one. So I'm going to pause for a second. There's actually a trophy I want to try and get, which I haven't got yet. I need to try and stack my response units on this one if I can. So I'm going to stage them just here. Let's take that unit there as well. There we go. And there's a trophy for getting 3 units in position before you actually send them in. Or before the shooting starts. I haven't got that trophy yet, so I want to see if I can get that one. We're going to need a medical unit as well, so we've got one close by for that. So let's try and get those units kind of in position first of all.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? I need help. It's burning.
Ma'am, where are you? I'm sorry, ma'am. What's burning?
It's burning. Send in the fire brigade immediately, please.
Okay, ma'am, I need you to calm down. What is burning?
My car. There's a smoke coming from under the hood. Send in firefighters.
Is anyone hurt?
No. No one is hurt. Will you send help?
Okay, I'm sending the fire department.
Well, I'm waiting.
Okay, so we need to send a fire truck down to deal with that. Nice and simple. GP asks, does this playing this technically make me the Sheriff of Nottingham? I suppose in a way, yes. Car reported speeding. Okay, where's my unmarked police car? There it is. Let's go after the speeding car. These units are all kind of ready. Right, so let's pause for a second. Let's amass these units here. And hopefully we'll get the trophy. Just wait a second because this car is a little bit slower. Or a little bit faster than the vans. There we go. So they should all try and arrive around about the same time here. There we go. And I don't know if I got the trophy because I turned off notifications. I think I got it. I hope I got it.
Hello? I'm a watchman at a construction site. a fire.
Sir, what's on fire?
One of the building's roof. It's on fire. I don't know what happened.
Where is it, sir?
At
Is there anyone inside the building?
I don't know, but I think the workers, they evacuated.
Here's what I want you to do. Find the nearest fire alarm station and activate the alarm. Then evacuate everyone from the building, clear the area, and wait for the fire department to arrive.
Okay, fire alarm. Sure thing. Get here fast.
So I answered that one slightly differently this time. I told him to do a fire alarm instead of going for the gas supply. We do need to get our fire trucks down there as quickly as we can. There we go. Are we all caught up? We're dealing with that one. Another speeding car. And another speeding car. Everyone's just speeding in Nottingham right now. It's crazy. It's been years since Nottingham had an unofficial sort of underground racetrack. I say underground as in you know, not sanctioned, not official. But we had what was called the circuit. So I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, so here it was. This is Maid Marian Way here in the centre of Nottingham. So this road here. This is Maid Marian Way going up to this roundabout. And every was it on a Sunday night? I think it was. Might have been a Saturday or a Friday night. I forget. We're going back many, many, many years. Like when I first moved to Nottingham, there was something called the circuit, and involved bombing down here because this road here, Maid Marian, is a dual carriageway. So you'd have a couple of lanes on either side. You'd come down here, around here. This then becomes one way, bomb around there, and then back up to the roundabout, and then back down this way. It was part of the circuit. It was also, I think, it came up this way to this part of the road as well. Maybe it was this, and then bombing around there and around there. But it was called the circuit. This is back in the days when Max Power was, you know, flying off the shelves like crazy, and then car modifications here in the UK were really becoming quite a popular scene around the early 2000s. And the circuit got shut down by the police, but for a good couple of years it was an unofficial sort of race meet for tuners every weekend. They got pushed out. So we're dealing with that. Oh, another speeding car. What's going on with all these people speeding? The circuit's come back. Right, I think we're caught up on the calls. Let's speed time back up again. We might need to send a unit over here to deal with with a pickup there.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's our stoner with the pizza again.
I ordered a
This guy kind of bugs me because we can't get him off the phone unless we just hang up on him.
Are you sure you've reached the right number?
Damn. Sure.
Listen, are you high right now?
There's a guy, and I want my munchies. It's tough, man.
So sometimes with those calls, I'll trace them and then I'll send a unit around to speak to the guy afterwards. Is he actually on the job? No, he's not. Might need to send a second unit up there, actually. It might be quite a few people injured. We've got another fire job over here. A dumpster fire. That's my technical truck. Do I have an actual nearby fire engine? That's the closest proper fire engine. We'll send those ones out. Another new call.
911, what's your emergency?
Good evening. I need help. Yeah, stupid thing.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Jacob Kobus.
Why'd you call 911?
My cat climbed up a tree and can't go down. It's very dark. Can you send firefighters
Where are you calling from?
around?
Is it a tall tree? Have you tried climbing it and getting the cat down yourself?
It's not really high, but it's dark.
Okay, so if I tell him to do it himself, he'll fall, break his leg, and we'll have to send an ambulance as well. We're going to send
I'll
the fire department.
Thank you. I'll be waiting.
Because we've got a spare unit here that we can send down. That's our technical truck that's reserved pretty much for getting cats out of trees. Oh, we dealt with the fire down here. That's done with good. How are we doing over here? Medical transport needed. Again, they've stopped short, look. They haven't actually gone all the way to the job. Bit weird. I don't know why they've done that. And there we go. That job's dealt with. We've got a new job here. Gangs fighting again. The Nottingham gangs are at it again. Let's send some units to deal with that. And we also have a medical issue here.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? I'm a watchman at a construction site, and I just noticed there's a fire.
Where is it, sir?
At
Sir, what's on fire?
one of the building's roof. It's on fire. I don't know what happened.
Is there anyone inside the building?
I don't know, but I think the workers, they evacuated.
Is the building connected to a gas supply?
It might be. I'm not sure.
What I want you to do, sir, is get help from the workers, try to locate the main gas valve for the area, and cut off the gas.
Okay, I know where that is. I'll do it right now.
Right, okay, so we need to send a fire truck up there. We do have our technical truck. It's a bit of a trek. Let's grab this truck, send that up there, and then we can send that one across when it's finished with that one as well. I need to pull some of our police units down, potentially, because they're stuck all the way up there at the moment. Let's bring this medical unit down a bit. A limb amputated by heavy machinery. We've got a unit on the way to that one. Someone feeling a bit under the weather, sniffly. It's a bit extreme to send a helicopter, but we need to.
Good evening. I need help. Yeah, stupid thing.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Jacob Cobus.
And having just got the cat out of the tree, it's gone straight back up the tree again.
Where are you calling from?
Around.
Why'd you call 911?
My cat climbed up a tree and can't go down. It's very dark. Should you send firefighters?
Is
I'm
it
going to get him to
tall
climb
tree?
it this
Have
time.
you tried climbing it and getting the cat down yourself?
It's not really high, but it's dark.
Well, Jacob, you can try climbing the tree yourself if you want, trying to get your cat down. But I don't have any fire department vehicles available right now to help you.
I'll try.
Hello? Jacob? Jacob, what happened?
I fell off the tree and I think I broke my leg. Why did you tell me to climb it?
I didn't tell you to do anything, Jacob.
Told me to take the cat off the tree. I'm gonna file a complaint. Help, it hurts like hell.
I'm sending you an ambulance. Please wait, okay?
Just hurry. For God's sake, it hurts.
So now we need to send an ambulance to deal with Jacob and his broken leg. Plus, we still need to send a fire truck because that cat is still stuck up the tree. There we go. A new call, shoplifting. Okay, we've got a unit nearby. Deal with that straight away. Another medical issue over here, epilepsy. We'll send a chopper on that one. Oh, that was the fire, wasn't it? We'll send that fire truck up there. Let's get this car down here to help out, and we'll also go and send medical assistance to the officers under fire. And that's it. That's all the calls for the day. So, just got to finish dealing with this one here, which needs medical. How many people are in need of medical transport? Just the two. Okay, just the suspects. We've got the fire being dealt with. Let's send the technical truck up there to help out as well. And no more calls coming in, because we have reached the end of the day. Made a decent little bit of cash, resolved 25 complaints or issues. And there we go. 2 officers with interactions. One was injured, one got promoted, which is quite nice. So that'll be a slight improvement to her stats. And there we go. That is the basics of the game. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the main menu, and it's time for you guys to choose the city that we play. So if you want to see your city being played on, let me know in the comments right now. I'll pick one of those at random. We'll type it in, we'll search for it, and if it comes up, that's what we'll use. If not, we'll go to the next one and try that one instead. Brandon says, I have an arsonist on my hands. It's the same guy who keeps calling in the fires. And Taurus Primus says, maybe the gangs are Robin Hood and the Merry Men. Yeah, you will get a lot of repeat calls from the same caller. Obviously, there's a limited amount of voice acting in the game, so you will get the same jobs over and over again. But sometimes the same call isn't always going to have the same outcome. There's one guy who always phones up and complains about his stomach. Sometimes it's just nothing. Sometimes it's food poisoning. Sometimes it's alcohol. He's had too much to drink. Sometimes he's got a serious potentially a serious medical condition. So you might get the same start to a call, but it doesn't always mean it'll end the same way. And of course, you have a choice how you deal with those calls as well, which can sometimes affect the outcome as well. So there is scope for variety in the way that you deal with the calls, and the calls themselves might have different components. It might not be the same call from start to finish. A lot of them do tend to be that way, but there is some flexibility in there. So we've got the land of Brum from Pecky. Brandon's asked for Dallas. GP says Liverpool or Glasgow. Taurus Primus wants Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. Some good suggestions here. Michael has asked for Dublin. So what I'll do is I'll start putting some of those in, and we'll pull the maps up. So let's search for Halifax first of all, just to see if it actually comes up. And there we go, that's Halifax. I'm not sure if that's Halifax, Nova Scotia. So you'll have to let me know if that one's correct there, Taurus Primus. Pecky wants Birmingham, so let's do Birmingham. Let's pull that map up. Which one will this give us? Because there are technically, there we go, choices. So we've got Birmingham here in the UK, in the West Midlands, with a population of 10 million people. We've got, is that 10 million or is that 1 million? There's 1 million. Birmingham in Alabama, Birmingham in Iowa, Birmingham in Michigan, and then just others that are just listed as Birmingham. Could be anywhere. This is the one that Pecky wants. So you just type the city in and it pulls up a genuine map. And there we go, that is Birmingham here in the UK. What other requests do we had? Dallas. So there we go, we've got 3 Dallases to choose from. Texas, Oregon and Georgia. And there we go, there's the map for Dallas. We've also had a request for Dublin. There we go, Dublin in County Dublin in Ireland. And there's the map of Dublin. Let's see. Liverpool or Glasgow? Let's take a look at Glasgow. And again, we get some choices. So Glasgow in Scotland, which is the one that's been requested, at just under 600,000 population. Then Montana, Missouri, and Kentucky as well. And there is the Glasgow map. Let's see, which ones have we got so far? Got Glasgow, and you know what? Let's go to Halifax, Nova Scotia, I think. That looks like it could be an interesting one. See what we start with unit-wise for Halifax. So, let's toggle through. We've got 2 fire trucks and a technical truck. 3 ambulances. A bike. 2 police cars. And 1 police van. Okay, that's interesting selection. We've got 1 leftover officer here, 1 spare officer. Let's see. Shove him in there. And shove him in there. If we toggle through to fire, let's make these 3-man crews all the way across the board here. And medical, same again, 3-man crews. There we go, and we'll just go straight into deployment. So let's take a look at our map. So we've got a lot of medical drop-off points just here. A lot of medical drop-off points over here. Is there something I need to know about Halifax here, Taurus? That is a lot of medical drop-off points. And then we've got 3 fire points scattered out, and then just 1 police point here. That's it. So a lot of people obviously need medical attention in Halifax. That is insanely clustered. As again, let's space these units out a bit. Same with the fire units. Let's bring a unit down here. And we'll have a unit over here. There we go. Let's run a day here in Halifax. Four suspects. Okay, let's send the van. Drugs likely being used. We should be okay like this.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, I don't have an emergency, but I'm making a computer game about your work, and I'd like to possibly talk for a moment.
Sir, you should contact the Emergency Services Department with your case.
Okay, how can I reach it?
Please visit the department's website, post a request to meet with the dispatchers.
Okay, can I ask for your name so I can put it in the request?
Sorry, but you cannot. Please do not block the line.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thanks and bye.
And we can ignore that call. There we go. We've got a fire in a warehouse. Now, the police have responded just simply because they were close and they spotted it. We're going to send our 2 fire trucks to deal with that. And we're going to move the police officers away from that job. A car going through a red light. We'll intercept with the squad car.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? There's an unconscious man here on the pavement.
Where are you calling from?
Around.
Does he have any visible injuries?
No, I think he's not injured.
Is he breathing?
Wait a second. Oh, God, he's not breathing.
Do you know how to perform CPR?
What? No, not really.
Okay, put your phone on speaker mode and follow my instructions.
I'll hurt him or something.
I'm sending an ambulance.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, our van here didn't make it, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe it dealt with the I'm not sure if it actually dealt with that issue we sent it to. A fallen tree is blocking the way. We've got a firefighter unit that can deal with that quite quickly. A suspicious guy carrying a gun. Okay, so we might well need to send backup on this one. Yep, under fire. They need backup. I've got medical assistance on the way already and backup on the way. Had a feeling that might be necessary. How are we doing over here? All dealt with. I've got an issue over here. That's a large fire. Okay, so we need all of our fire trucks. I've got a call.
911, what's your emergency?
I want to complain about my neighbors. They're being noisy.
What's the address you're calling from?
My house is at... I'm in Unit 6.
Do you know who lives there?
Some old man. He looks like he's 60 or 70 years old. I don't know him very well. We don't really talk to each other.
Does he live alone?
I think so.
Is he often loud like this?
No, he's rather quiet, especially at night.
Do you know if anybody visits his apartment?
I've never seen anyone who comes to visit him. Do you think something has happened to him?
I'll send the police to check on it.
Thank you. I'll be waiting at my place. Bye.
So, possibly some old guy has snuffed it in the night. Let's send a medical team there just in case. Where's our second fire truck? There it is, for that large fire. And we'll also send a medical unit there. What's this new one that's come in? A gang warfare. Okay, so we're going to need a couple of units to go and deal with that, I think. And a medical unit's going to be needed as well. There we go. And then we've got a home invasion over there as well. Oh, just not enough units.
911, what's your emergency?
So, I shot my leg off.
Some guy's chopped his leg off.
Your leg?
I helped my cousin in the workshop, pushed wood with my leg and slipped into the press. I can't take it out. Please help.
Okay. Where are you calling from?
At
Is your cousin with you?
No, he went out for good. He'll be back in the evening, but there's no one here. There's no one around.
Do you have something to tie around your leg?
No, just some tools, an axe and a hammer.
All right, take off your shirt then.
First time I saw that, so just some tools and axe and hammer. I was like, okay, chop your leg off. It's just like, what? That's what I was expecting to see. But it didn't come up.
Okay.
I'm always disappointed that that's not an option. One thing I have noticed, though, and I do kind of like, is whenever they give out the actual address, they suddenly switch into Charlie Brown mode.
Good. I know this won't be easy, but I need you to calmly breathe. Relax. The ambulance will arrive soon.
God, I think I'm passing out.
Okay, keep calm. The ambulance is on the way. It'll be there in a few minutes.
Hurry.
Right. So, do I have a spare medical unit? No, I don't. Not at the moment. Let's send that unit there. Let's get that unit to turn around and go that way and deal with that. Get both of those units to deal with that issue. We've got a fire that's broken out over here. That's not good. Send the bike for backup.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? There was a robbery
Where did this happen?
around.
Do you have any injuries?
No, I think we're fine.
How long ago did this happen?
A moment ago.
Are your attackers still in the area?
They ran away down the road.
Do you know what direction they went?
I think east.
We'll take care of it. Just wait for emergency services to arrive.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Again, I'm now kind of just waiting for all these jobs to kind of finish off. See one of our fire trucks over there. I need more medical units. Where are they? They're all tied up. That one's going off to a health spot over there. How many people injured here? Just one. We'll allocate that guy out there. A man putting a needle in his arm all the way down there. It's going to need police and medical. There's a police car there full of suspects. That can't do anything for a little while.
911, what's your emergency?
It's burning here. Please, send help.
What's burning, ma'am?
A garage.
What's the address you're calling from, ma'am?
In front of...
What kind of garage is that?
Just a small garage near to the house.
Are there any cars near the fire?
I don't see any.
So, how big is this fire?
I don't know. There's a lot of thick smoke. I can barely see the fire.
Okay, I'm sending the fire department right now.
Good. Bye.
So another job coming in, but this one we can actually deal with. We're getting a few jobs that are kind of stacking up simply because we're waiting for all of our units to free themselves. Let's have a look. Another medical job. Do I have any police jobs? I've got one down there. Send that one down there. They can go assist over there. Is that a speeding vehicle? Red light. Okay, we can get the bike to deal with that. These guys can go deal with that issue.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, I would like to order a steak pepperoni with extra cheese, please.
Excuse me? You've reached 911.
Yes, I know. Oh, 2 cans of soda.
Ma'am, do you have an emergency?
Yes, I do.
And you can't talk about it because of someone in the room?
Yes, exactly.
You also need
So again, this is a job that we really are struggling to deal with quickly because we just don't have enough units.
I'll send it right away.
They're all kind of tied up on other jobs at the moment.
Are there any weapons in the house?
Yes.
Can you stay on the line with me?
No, thanks. I hope we'll get here soon.
All right, the officers are coming.
Taurus says real address. Yes, every address that you see in this is a genuine address because they're taken from genuine maps. They're all completely, they're all real maps that these locations are based on. It's genuine map data that's taken. I forget where the maps are sourced from. It's mentioned somewhere, but they are genuine real world maps of real world locations. So the addresses that are given in terms of street names, they are genuine street names. This speeding car is going to get away. We're just not going to be able to deal with it. We don't have a unit spare. Send medical team down there. Got that fire to deal with just there. Another call coming in.
911, what's your emergency?
God help! There's a baby in our garbage container. Someone left a baby here.
Oh, we got a dumpster baby.
Can you see the baby?
Yes, I can see and hear it, but I'm not able to reach it. I'm too short. It must be a newborn.
Did you try to stand on something so you could reach the baby?
No, there's nothing really I can use.
Look around. Is there anyone nearby? Somebody walking past? Maybe a neighbor?
Wait a second, I'll call someone. Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson! Please help me, there's a child inside. I need you to lift me up.
You're doing great. I've got an ambulance on the way, so just wait there, okay?
Okay, I'll wait right here. Come quick.
And because of the options we chose, we never got an address. Now we have to stay on the line and trace the location before we can end the call. There we go. Now we have the address, so now we know where we can send people. Look at all these jobs just stacking up. Let's send a medical unit up this way. Got a medical unit here. Oh, that job's dealt with. What's this call here? Oh, that's the pizza call, I think, isn't it? Yes, it is. So I'll send the police there. I'm going to need to send a medical team there as well, no doubt. Yep, to deal with her. You can see she's injured and the text has changed. Another one that needs police and medics. Get that fire truck down there to deal with that issue as well. Get that one at least put out a little bit quicker. We really do need more units. Just don't have enough. This is it now as well. We've missed a couple of calls. We just haven't been able to respond to them. But there are no more going to come in now. This is the end of the day. So no more calls, no more random jobs being issued. We've got to deal with these ones as quickly as we can. Oh, there's a lot of casualties in here. Okay, that one's dealt with. So, let's see. What was this job over here again? Oh, that was the baby, wasn't it? Send the ambulance. I might possibly need a fire truck there as well, so we'll send that. Are we dealt with on that job? Yes, we are. And you can see that the police job that we had just here, that's gone as well. As has the one that was over here. They timed out. We just didn't have enough. Our reputation is currently -1. We might even get fired, which would not be a good start. Our first day and we get fired if we end up potentially with a negative score on this. So it's all kind of riding on this last job. We kind of need to get this one dealt with quickly, and hopefully that'll give us a positive reputation. And you can see the baby needs medical assistance, which is why we have the ambulance. But we can't get to the baby at the moment because technical skills are needed to free the baby from the dumpster, which is why the fire truck is on the way. And you can see that the box has now changed as well from a white medical box only to a split box because it needs fire services as well. In fact, it's possible that baby is now free. I think it might be free. So we ended up with a reputation of 3. At the end of the day, we just survived. Total profit was less than 7 grand. Not good at all. If we take a look at the duty summary, the report breakdown, you'll see quite a few failures towards the end where we timed out. So this timeout for the childbirth here, 9 off our score, 3 off for the robbery, 15 for the armed assault, 9, 6, 5. All those points that we gained, we lost all of them in a really short space of time because we just didn't have enough units. And so the money that we could have made, and certainly the reputation we could have gained, did not turn out very good at all. And if we go back to the duty summary, you can see, look how many of our staff are injured. That's insane. We actually had one officer die as well. Marek Meltzer died on duty. So staffing for a second day on this map would be horrendous in this current situation. But that was Halifax. So let's take a look at one of the other suggestions that we got. And we'll make this our last one. We'll do a day on one of these other maps. So into free game. Let's have a look. Let's do a UK one. Let's do Birmingham. Actually, Birmingham's a really big city. We're going to get a ton of stuff to deal with on that one. Let's see if we can go somewhere a little bit smaller. Dublin, maybe? No, we'll go with Birmingham. Let's see what we start with for this one. And again, we're just going to dive in with what we've got. So, we take a look at fire services. We have 3 fire trucks and a technical truck. Let's improve the staffing on the fire trucks. There we go. Medical, we've got 3 ambulances and a helicopter. So again, that's going to be nice and simple just to flesh these out to full staffed crews. And then we look at the police. What do we have for police? We have 2 cars, 2 vans and a bike. So let's fill out the staffing on the vans a little bit. There we go, and let's jump into Birmingham. This is a bit of an interesting spread. Quite a few sort of drop-off points scattered around. A big cluster here. There must be a hospital here in real life. That's a lot of health points just there. Let's space our units around the city a little bit more. And we'll leave the helicopter on the outskirts. Where's the rest of all of our police units? They're all stacked over here, look. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, there we go. And the fire trucks. Stash a fire truck over there. And another one there. Oops. That's the technical truck. We'll leave that down there. And we've got another one up there. Let's bring that one in a little bit. There we go. We'll start duty here in Brum. First one up is... Oh, it's a rape. Ah, that's not good. Okay, we need to stop that fire engine from moving. Let's get some police action going on and a medical assistance there as well. A hostage situation.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? Been a car crash.
Where did the collision happen?
Around
When did it happen?
5 minutes ago.
Do you know who caused the accident?
I wasn't arguing about that. Can you send the police to figure it out?
Are there any injuries?
No, no one's hurt.
Are any of the vehicles blocking traffic?
No, they're not.
All right, sir. Please wait for the emergency services to arrive.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, nice and straightforward. We just need a squad car to deal with that one. We do need to deal with this, so let's send units to that job there. What else have we got? We've got a stroke. We want to get someone there quickly and send a helicopter for that one. So we've got officers under fire. Hopefully they'll be alright. We've got a house on fire. So let's get our firefighters in on that one.
911, what's your emergency?
Papa! There's a bat in my apartment!
What's your address? Okay, I'll send somebody to help. Just stay there, please.
Hurry!
So, we're just going to send the fire brigade in to deal with that quickly. Just get her off the line nice and fast. Speeding. We want the bike for this one.
What's your emergency?
Hi, there's an unconscious man here.
Where are you calling from?
Around...
Did you see him pass out?
Yeah, I saw him falling.
Does he have a pulse? Is he breathing?
Yeah, he's breathing. Oh wait, he's waking up.
Can you stay with him and make sure he's completely okay?
Sure, bye.
Okay, so we'll ignore that one for now. Another new incident. Twisted foot from falling downstairs. We've got a nearby unit. There's no biggie on that one. Let's ignore that call. How are we doing everywhere else? We seem to be okay. What's this one here? Why are they moving away from that job? Choking.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a strange car parked here.
Where's the car parked?
On the sidewalk.
Can you give me the address of where this car is parked, sir? So what is it about this parked car that has you concerned?
This is my spot.
Sir, this isn't an emergency call. You'll need to contact the proper city services to make a complaint.
Okay, I'll do it. Bye.
So again, that's a call we can ignore. Sometimes, more often than not, that's a different. That call ends up a very, very different way. It's the first time I've seen that one. The guy complaining that it's his spot. People drinking in public. How dare they? How dare they have fun? Let's go break that fun up straight away. Ooh, big growl for my stomach. I need to have something to eat soon.
911, what's your emergency?
My car was stolen.
Where did this happen?
In the middle of the street. While I was standing at a red light, he just dragged me out of my car and drove away.
What's the address of where this happened, sir?
It happened at...
Okay, I'm gonna need your license plate. Can you give that to me, please?
It's
What color is your car?
red.
What type of car is it?
Just average family sedan.
So how many suspects did you see?
There were 2 of them.
We're notifying the officers in the area now. They'll see if they can find your car.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I've got something over here as well. Oh, actually, we'll send the bike to deal with that one. And let's get the squad car to go after the stolen car. There we go. I got a beating Multiple suspects, potentially. Let's get some units over there quickly. Let's draft these guys over for backup just in case. GP asks, what am I going to have for dinner? A curry, I think. I'm going to have chicken curry.
Hello? There was a robbery?
Where did this happen?
Around,
How long ago did this happen?
a moment ago.
Do you have any injuries?
No, we are fine.
Are your attackers still in the area?
I have no idea. They ran away somewhere.
Okay, so you're not injured, and the people who robbed you have left the area?
Well, yes, but I have been robbed.
Sir, I want you to go to your nearest police office and report the crime. Right now, there's nothing we can do about it.
But they... Alright, whatever.
I've got a fire over here. Or fire call. Let's send those guys there. Officers under fire. Need backup. Let me tag them on the job. There we go. We've got another fire issue over here. Dumpster fire. We're dealing with that incident. Medical assistance needed over here. Pedestrian hit by a car. It's a long trip for that medical unit, so we'll send this one up there.
911, what's your emergency?
God help! There's a baby in our garbage container. Someone left a baby here.
Can you see the baby?
Yes, I can see and hear it, but I'm not able to reach it. I'm too short. It must be a newborn.
Ma'am, where are you calling from?
Behind a block.
I'm sending the fire department to pull the child out of the dumpster. I need you to stay there so they know where to go.
Okay, I'll wait right here. Come quick.
Okay, so this one says a fire brigade, but we'll also need to send a medical unit as well for the baby itself. Still with those. This call, we're going to ignore that one. Clear that off. You can see here, and we had a call over here. There it is. The police transport is needed for that one. I've got a suspicious person potentially carrying a gun. It's low on the list of priorities. That job has been waiting longer. They're all flooding in, as you can see. It's getting a little hectic again.
911, what's your emergency? Hello? Is anyone there? If you can't talk, please press any digit on your phone, okay?
Okay, so just kids, basically, playing around with the phone on that one there. Need medical assistance here again. That's a suspicious guy, isn't it? This is the problem with bikes, is that they're really good for chasing down some of these long-distance jobs, but if anyone needs to be carried away, as was in the case in this one here, they lock someone up, it becomes really problematic trying to actually clear them. Because you need a police transport.
911, what's your emergency?
Help! I can't breathe. I'm trapped in the car.
Sir, keep calm. Where are you?
Alright, gonna have to trace this call, which means just staying on the line. And all the while, these other jobs that are sitting here waiting for, an officer to be allocated, we can't do anything about them. Oh, they're all flooding in now, look. Busy day in Birmingham. Alright, we have an address. Okay, so let's try and deal with these as quickly as we can. Might need a fire service there, I'm not sure. Let's take a look. In fact, let's slow time right down. We're almost towards the end of the day. Let's see if we can deal with some of these. Suspects enter the house, probably with hostile intention. 3 suspects. All of our police are at the wrong end of the city. That's not good. Start allocating these units. Are going to start bringing some of these ones down a bit as well. Let's jump on that one there. Bring this unit into the centre a bit more. Bring this unit down a bit more. Don't have anybody allocated here actually. I've got a unit just here. Oh, they're on their way to a job already. I could redirect, but we'll just do that. See, normally I would think about sending the bike there, but you can see shoplifter's been apprehended. They're waiting for him to be arrested. No point sending the bike there, because they would just get there, process the guy, and then call for a police transport to take him to the cells. And I may as well just send a vehicle that can do that straight away. That's the pregnant woman. We're dealing with that one. I think that's all of the current missions, all of the current calls being dealt with.
"911, what's your emergency?"
There's a fire here,
"Where are you, sir?"
in front of...
"So what's on fire?"
I guess it's a living room.
"I need you to be more specific, sir. Is the room in a house or an apartment?"
It's part of the house.
Alright, so how big is the fire?
It's kind of big, like the size of a bonfire.
Is the fire spreading anywhere?
Yes.
The fire department is on the way.
Okay, goodbye.
So a big fire means multiple units needed. And these are the final calls of the day, so we may as well send 3 fire trucks there. I don't know if I have units going to all of these jobs or not. I'm not 100%. Oh, a speeding car, so we can catch him. Send the bike after him. Might catch him before he disappears off the map. We'll chase it down with a squad car as well, just in case. How are we doing over here? That's all fine. That's fine. That's being dealt with. Oh, we just caught up to him before he disappeared off the playable area. That's good. They're under fire and need backup. Let's send in extra units. The ambulance is full, so let's send another one in there. Let's send another big unit in there as well. Let's just really flood the area. And that one's dealt with. And there we go. That is the end of the day here in Birmingham. So, that is a look at 911 Operator. We've been running for a little while now. We've done 3 days on Nottingham. We've done a day in Halifax in Nova Scotia. We've done a day here in Birmingham. You can type in any city in the world and odds are it's going to be available. If there's map data available for it, you'll be able to play it with genuine maps and genuine street names and locations. So if you want to play this in your hometown or city, you almost certainly will be able to, no matter where you are in the world, which is a really cool feature of this game. And I've had a lot of fun with this. I'm going to continue playing this in my sort of spare time. But that is pretty much the end of this stream. we've reached a good stopping point, I think. Don't forget TSW Tuesdays. Next one is on Tuesday. The vote to decide which pack will be running next is still open. That's open till the end of Monday. Currently, overwhelmingly at the moment, it looks as though we're going to be doing the Long Island Railroad on the next TSW Tuesday, this Tuesday coming. And also on Tuesday, I will be starting a brand new Let's Play series on Genesis Alpha 1. Once the game has gone live and I've got the day one patch installed, I will start recording some gameplay footage for that. And we'll do a series on Genesis Alpha 1. So a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of days. I am also looking at a couple of other games in the future as well. I've been considering The Forest, that's been suggested by a couple of different people. And I'm also giving some consideration to Stellaris, which is making its way over to consoles. Comes out next month, towards the end of next month. That is an epic scale strategy game, a grand strategy game, first one of its kind on consoles, and I'm giving serious consideration to sticking that on the channel as well. So if you're interested in Stellaris, then let me know in the comments, and I will certainly think about that. But as for now, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more gameplay footage very, very soon.